Dropping out of grad school is not something that I ever envisioned. I've always loved school, I enjoy learning, and human-computer interaction was what I really wanted to study. So why did I drop out of grad school? Hi, welcome to episode 15. Today I'm going to be talking about changing your mind. Not like I'm trying to change your mind, but the topic of changing one's mind. The things that we believe and we do feel like they're tied to part of our identity. So when we want to change our mind on something, it can feel painful, like you're reducing your sense of self. In the last episode, I talked about going through my old blog and seeing some opinions I don't hold anymore, and some I still do. One thing I had written about then was being confused as to why people would buy steel mixes instead of just making from scratch. Isn't that just laziness? But now I shop for groceries that make my cooking and eating as convenient as possible. I buy frozen broccoli because it's already chopped to the size I like. I buy shredded cheese for immediate use. But there are people who think that you shouldn't buy these things, not just for health concerns, but the association they have is that using it means that you're lazy. Their self-concept is that they're not lazy, and so if they give in to buying convenience foods or getting help to cook or ordering food, then it's shattering their sense of self. To buy or not buy convenient food seems like a small issue. So let's look at a bigger thing. When I was younger, I always said I didn't want to get married and I didn't want to have children. And even if I did get married, I won't get married until I was at least 30. I'm not going into all of the reasons for that because that's not the point. Everyone kept saying, oh, you'll change your mind. And it infuriated me. It was so annoying. And it still does. Why does it matter if I might change my mind in the future? I was talking about a decision based on my current state and what I knew and what I believed about the world. But then I met my now husband and I changed my mind. Note that I said I changed my mind. He did not change my mind or try to convince me. As an aside, 15-year-old me will be so shocked that I am not even 30 yet and have been married a couple of years. And isn't that how we are or how we should be? You have an opinion or a perception about something. Receive new input, review the data you currently have to see how the new one fits or not, and make a decision. Has the new input changed something or doesn't it change anything at all? No one is bound necessarily to every single decision they've ever made about everything in life. Why can't we change our minds when we feel like something is not working anymore or we've received new information that changes our perception on a topic? One more reason why people resist change is because of how people see us. It's similar to the first part of your opinion being tied to your self-concept. But in this case, your identity is based on how others perceive you. We see this happen on social media a lot. Someone is on the wrong side of a conversation, and instead of walking back and admitting they were wrong, they dig their heels in and refuse to acknowledge anything that will help them see the topic in a different light. It's also why people are reluctant to make career changes. If you've been one way for a long time, it can be scary to branch out into something new or do something different, especially when you're really advanced in your career and renowned in your field. Starting again in another field can feel like attempting to walk on water, and the fear of failing keeps people stuck and resistant to try something new. When for all of your life, or for the greater part of your life, or for a significant chunk of your life, you have been seen as X profession, changing to another one can seem daunting. Imagine being a doctor for 10, 20 years, and then one day you decide that you want to be a banker or you want to be a musician. People will look at you like you're crazy. And so you refuse to make that move, to try something new, to do something different, to walk away from what you've known before. Back to dropping out of grad school. I started that program, human-computer interaction. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't working. I was working full-time and doing a full-time master's program that started out online, but was going to move online. I struggled so much with the decision to drop out that I took a semester break instead of just leaving the program. Leaving the program was at odds with how I saw myself and how I believed others saw me. In my mind, it was failing. It was not completing something that I had started. For a long time, I hid the fact that I dropped out. I was ashamed. But now I know better. It's not a big deal. I made a decision to attend a specific school for a specific program. And then I changed my mind because my life changed and that particular program didn't fit into my context anymore. Another reason I didn't want to drop off that program was how much I had already spent on it, both money and time-wise, which is a third reason people are hesitant to change their mind. The sunk cost fallacy. You spend so much time and effort on something that it feels like a waste to give it up. But continuing instead can be a waste. You pay for a movie ticket, it sucks, but you decide to sit through it because after all, I paid for the ticket. But now you're losing time doing something that you don't care about. And we see this often in relationships and careers. People stay 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decades into things, relationships, workplaces, and they find out that they don't want to do this anymore. But then they feel like, I've been here for so long, might as well continue. And then they're stuck doing something that they don't enjoy. You don't have to change your mind about everything, but you should always be open to the possibility of changing your mind. Even if you've always wanted to do something, or everyone thinks it's a great idea, or you've committed to the thing. Changing your mind isn't always without consequence though, especially when there are other people involved. I remember going to a restaurant and ordering a mocktail. I hated it and I couldn't finish it. It tasted terrible. So I asked for another one. I ended up having to pay for both drinks. Changing my mind cost me something tangible in this instance, and this was a small thing. So changing your mind can actually cost you things, and even in bigger ways, friendships, relationships, social status, and so forth. That is why it can often be very difficult to do. So, whether you choose to change your mind or not, know that there can be discomfort or consequences for you and for others, and it's up to you to choose what kind of discomfort and consequence that you want. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Couple of Things. If you enjoyed this episode or found any part of it insightful, don't forget to share with your friends on your social media, and be sure to leave a comment or a review if you can on your podcast listening app. Thank you.